of all sweet accord, answered,
It
was only rarely in Not the 9 o'clock news that, you know, that my special interest in visual comedy was ever allowed to burst through.
The rest of you will watch a mime called, and if there's any sniggering there'll be trouble, Alternative Car Park. I said... What do you think you're doing? What?
I'm the mime.
Well, why didn't you say so? Right, get on with the mime.
I am a mime. My body is my tool.
The ideas we had for visual characters were, you know, rather unfocused, let's say. But The Man Who Bumped Into the Tree was one of those rare occasions when it sort of got through.
I can remember Richard Curtis and Rowan coming in very early, Not the 9 o'clock news, and saying, we've got this great, great script, it's the best script we've ever written. And it consisted of, it says, Rowan is walking down the street and he sees the camera and then bumps into a lamppost. And I turned over the page expecting the great delivery of the line. I said, well, what's this? What's the joke? He said, well, it's really funny. I said, this isn't funny at all. It's hopeless. It doesn't work at all. And they said, well, can we do it? Please, please, please. Can we have a couple of hours with the camera? And I said, sure. They went off and shot it with the director. It came back, and it was absolutely brilliant. It's that shock that you've been working comedy for 5, 6, 7 years and somebody comes along and says, there's another way of doing this. He has not had to compromise. He's done pretty much exactly what he wants to. The compromises he's made have generally been so as not to upset his mother, you know, not to say too many rude words because she might not like it.
It started off as being something completely different about bicycle thieves in North London, and over time it developed into a medieval sitcom. So how it went down that road, I don't know.
I seek information about a wise woman.
The wise woman. The wise woman.
Yes, the wise woman.
2 things, my lord, must ye know of the wise woman.
Yes?
First, she is a woman. And second, she is...
wise?
You do know her, then?
No, just a wild stab in the dark, which is incidentally what you'll be getting if you don't start being a bit more helpful.
I delighted in Blackadder in those very long, ornate things, you know, Baldric, that's the most disgusting thing I've seen.
Since Cardinal Wolsey got his knob out at Hampton Court and stood at the end of the passage pretending to be a door. Oh, shut up, Balders. You'd laugh at a Shakespeare comedy.
The Blackadders were very complicated by the end, it has to be said, because there were, you know, 6 or 7 people working in a room, all of whom were capable on their own of developing entire projects, attempting to squeeze all their creative energy into a 2-dimensional situation comedy.
Permission to sing boisterously, sir.
If you must.
Row, row, row your punt gently down the stream. Belts off, trousers down, isn't life a scream?
Fabulous. University education. You can't beat it.
Bravo. Now, what have we here? Name?
Baldric, sir.
Oh, tally-ho, yibbity-dap and zing-zang spillet. Looking forward to bullying off for the final chucker?
Answer the General, Baldric.
I can't answer him, sir. I don't know what he's talking about.
Are you looking forward to the big push?
No, sir, I'm absolutely terrified.
The healthy humour of the honest Tommy. Don't worry, my boy. If you should falter, remember that Captain Darling and I are behind you.
About 35 miles behind.
There are two Rowan characters, principally. There's the absolute bastard, who's the schoolmaster character, or Blackadder. And there's the funny, wibbly little man. Who's actually an utter bastard as well. They're both bastards.
In 1989, after the consideration of a long list of vegetables, the funny little wibbly man was given the name of Mr. Bean. Quite unexpectedly, this unfashionably silent comedy was an immediate hit. One of the secrets of the Bean visual humour is the careful and highly detailed preparation that goes into filming.
I'm not at all sure that I enjoy acting, because I just find it so worrying and difficult. I enjoy planning things, I enjoy thinking about things and, contributing to the creation of things.
The window down, or a head emerging if you wanted a nice entrance for yourself, trying to get out of the train.
Almost without seeing the window come down, just the sense of the grappling hand, of the hand coming out, and, where's the knob?
Each and every Bean moment is meticulously choreographed.
I don't know. I suppose I'd seen that he arrives in this shot already sort of faltering, you know what I mean? Though we just get the sense, or at least not necessarily that he's acknowledged his loss of ticket in the opening shot, but he could be looking for it. And I'm still fairly confident.
Yeah.
And then when we pick him up profile, that he's sort of starting to falter, and there's a little bit more of the
yeah.
Oh, bloody hell, I haven't got anything.
If this angle works best, that's lovely. The change of direction, if you see what I mean. I'm always aware that of any 10 suggestions I might come up with, 3 or 4 or 5, maybe along the same lines that he's thinking. But I'm always unnerved by the fact that on almost all the other occasions, he's so far ahead that I then have to choose between, open-mouthed admiration or a very quick recovery, where I say, yes, I felt something similar would probably do very well, and then scuttle off and try and get to the cameraman before he does.
This bag could do with being 6 inches longer.
6 inches longer?
Yeah, I think so.
How fast can you go?
So one corner of the bag would go through and get stuck, and then and then he'd come back, and then think, well, there's only one way out, and that is to go over the top.
The co-writer, Robin Driscoll, collaborates with Rowan on the improvisation of Bean.
Might be nice tea bag, if you do a bit of a caterpillar and you get up and you think, well, freedom's inside.
One of the reasons why Mr. Bean has gone on is because actually the process of creating him is quite a lot of fun. You think of a basic situation, just as you're walking around, you're in a barber shop and you think, yes, this is a place where people don't talk to each other. I could do a Mr. Bean thing here.
Susie!
And then you sit down at the computer and you think through, as you would with a normal piece of writing, 5 things that might happen.
Sorry, look, can I just leave Jamie here with you for a moment? I mean, I've left my purse person shot back there. But just give him a good haircut, will you? Be good, Jamie.
Sorry to stop, but I have a feeling that if this happened, that Bean would, or some, normal people would say, hang on a minute, he'll be back in a second and I'm first. You know what I mean? But they'd be, because in the end, the real barber's only 10 yards that way. So he would, I'm not sure he would immediately presume to take on the role of a barber unless he had an extra kick. I mean, maybe actually Jamie says something like, come on!
Would Jamie take his own cap off and look at Bean so that we see you? Yeah, like that expectant thing.
Yeah.
And there's a kind of moment between the two of you.
Yes. Yes, that might be quite good. Yeah. Yes, that's quite. Yes, that's quite good. Yes, exactly. Good. Yeah, that might be all I need.
I like Mr. Bean mainly because he's got a bit of a rubber face.
Blue 3 and 2, 32. And blue 3 and 5, 35. Blue 3 and 7, 37. White 6 and 1, 60. Yellow 2 and 5, 25. White 5 and 4, 54. Yellow 2 and 3, 23. Green anywhere around 69.
He puts